can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Boy, all that like Keenan. Still got crack, they fiendin'. Flow still hot like Phoenix. Shine so bright, I'm gleaming. This off top, I'm tweaking. Fresh out the rat like Neiman. And I'm still tryna fight my demons. Cause we all gotta act like Tina. That's why I gotta ride with the Nina. Outside, it's a war going on. Make me put my hands on my head like the Macarena. They want you walking on board like Kima. Ain't give a F to you like John Cena. Putting blood on a brand new Beamer. Tryna earn they stripes like Adidas. You get cold when you ride with the heater. It'll turn you to a dog like a Keeta. And expose to a cat like a cheetah. They smoke my partner like reefer. Dímelo porque o no entiendo. Mi gente must really need Jesus. They shed real blood. I never seen the crypt and I believe it. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. It's too easy. I've been there, done it, seen it. Y'all just talk, don't live it. And just took that route that's seen it. Now I'm so outspoken like Reason. Jimmy Neutron, boy, Young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since Eden. It's a war going on outside. Make you put your hands on your head like the Macarena. That's why I gotta watch my demeanor. You know they locking up blacks and Latinos.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the WAG show. This is episode 56. I am your host, Ben Hostler. It is Monday, May 1st. It's the first of the month. We are here to talk about today's best bets. Pretty small slate, though, actually. Baseball, not a lot going on tonight. There's like 5-6 games, two basketball games, just the one hockey game, Game 7, Rangers, Devils. So we do have something to talk about, but it's a little bit lighter. Mitchell, what's up? I do have a play for baseball I really like. So we'll talk about that a little bit. How are you guys doing? As far as the weekend goes, it was a great weekend because the Warriors beat these fraudulent Kings. Get the Kings out of here. Oh man, were they loud? Were they lighting that beam? Were they lighting that beam after that Game 6 win? They thought they had it in the bag. The Kings thought they had it in the bag coming back home, with the chance to close it out in Game 7. But, hey, that just goes. I've said this for, I don't know. How long have I been saying this on here? Since we started the show. Nobody wants to play the Warriors in a 7-game series. That shows how hard it is to beat the Warriors in a 7-game series. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Warriors over the Lakers. I really do. I don't know. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on that. Who you think will take that series? I think the Celtics will handle the 76ers. Even if Embiid was playing, I still would probably be taking the Celtics over the 76ers. So that's kind of my take on that. Celtics over 76ers, even if Embiid was playing, even if Embiid comes back. I like Boston. I liked Denver over Phoenix at the start of the series. They won that first game, so they're favored to win the series now. I still feel confident in Denver. I've said this when the when the Suns made the trade. I would take the field over the Suns, and they just don't have enough depth, I think. I don't love the Nuggets team, but if their role players play good enough, I think they can move on. So I'm going to take Denver in that series, but I think it'll go 6-7. I like the Knicks in that Heat series even after that loss. I still think I'll take the Knicks, but we'll see. I don't know. It's tough to go against Jimmy Butler. I kind of picked the Knicks prior to – I thought Randall would come back and play. He didn't. So if he misses like extended games, I think that definitely helps Miami a little bit. But that should be a pretty good series. And I'm taking the Warriors. It seems like there's still drama with Golden State. I agree with that, and it seemed like in that Game 6 there was. But apparently this was squashed after Steph gave this speech, and he basically said, you know, if you get on the bus to go to Sacramento tomorrow, you know, everything better be put aside for the common goal to win. And you know, everybody got on. They put that was the best that they didn't shoot very well again, but overall as a team, collectively, I think that was the best that they had played in that series. So maybe that looks like it got addressed. I still take them over the Lakers, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think they're actually. I thought it would be closer in terms of the series price on FanDuel. FanDuel has Golden State at -158. I thought it would be a little bit closer than that, but I do think the Warriors move on. Even as a Lakers fan, I'll take Golden State in 6. Yeah. I think that I think it's really close, honestly. The West, I think, is I don't know if anyone can beat Boston. I know Boston lost that game to Atlanta, whatever. I don't know if anyone can beat Boston in the East. The West, I truly think any of those 4 teams could make the finals. So it's like so much more competitive. Like if the Lakers do beat the Warriors, that they could go to the finals. I think Denver could go. I think obviously Phoenix could go. Phoenix, the problem for me is Phoenix, like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have to have monster games. If they don't each put up monster games, they're in like such a hole because they just don't have anyone else that can really provide anything. I mean, they're relying on Torrey Craig, Josh Okogie, guys like that. I mean, it's a tough scene for them. If Durant and Booker don't go completely ham, then they really can get in like a bad spot. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit lower on them. Denver at least has some other guys that can get hot. Like MPJ is not someone that I think is a number 1 option or anything, but MPJ can get hot, you know, from 3 and help out a little bit. You know, same with some of the other guys on their team. And then the Lakers, I mean, it's kind of the same situation as Phoenix with the Lakers of where AD and LeBron have to do their thing, but they have gotten really good play. Like the emergence of Rui Hachimura has been big for them. And, you know, Reeves can really provide a lot offensively. D'Angelo Russell can provide a lot offensively. He finally played good in that game against Memphis, that last game against Memphis. He had struggled all series, but he finally played good. So I think they're looking a bit better than obviously the Warriors. It's essentially the same team that won the title last year. I'm missing Otto Porter Jr., which is a 3-and-D guy that I do think was important, but it's pretty much the same team. So I think this Jordan Poole thing, I really thought Jordan Poole was going to play better, but he's really he has went back to what the first 2 games of the series he looked unplayable, and then they kind of came home to San Fran. And he played. Draymond was out that game. They started Jordan Poole, and he played much better. But that did not carry him. That has not carried over the last few games. The last few games, it's back to that what he looked like the first few games. He looks really bad. So anything that is going to help them out because I do think he is an important piece for them given the current setup of their team. Like last year in the playoffs and then in the finals, like they were getting really, really good production from Jordan Poole. That one game in the finals, he completely took over in the second half. Like they need him to at least – he just plays so out of control. Like, I don't know. He needs to just have just play within himself. I do think Golden State's going to make some moves after this year. This is probably the last time we'll see this team all together because I do think if I were them, I would rather move on from Poole than Draymond, but I don't know. It kind of sounds like Draymond might be going to a new team or something. Ayton's annoying to watch. Ayton sucks. I've said this for years. I don't think he sucks, but again, it's just who in the NBA wins with a traditional center. You know, like it's a little bit harder. Like Anthony Davis is what he does, but again, he has 1 title to his name. Nikola Jokic is amazing. Jokic isn't really what I would call a traditional center, though, because he can provide so much value in terms of passing the ball. Like, that's a little bit of a different situation. Embiid, traditional center, one of the best players in the NBA. does not have a championship. So I don't know. I think it's harder to win with one, and I mean, I just don't think he's that good. Some players don't match up or shine every series. I'm sure Poole will bounce back. They really need him to bounce back for sure. And I do agree with that to an extent, but I think his bad play is stemming from this, this drama within the team between him and Draymond and stuff. So I don't know if it's really fixable, but he doesn't have to do much. He just has to provide some offense off the bench. It's not like he needs to be the number one guy or something. But the problem is Jordan Poole thinks he's the number one guy, similar to like a Dillon Brooks. I think they have the same kind of mentality. Jordan Poole's just not quite as loud about it, but he's a very unserious player, and he just he thinks he's a little bit better than he is, which gets him into trouble. Anything else over the weekend? If you guys have anything to talk about, I don't know what was going on. I mean, we've been crushing MLB DFS, dfskarma.com, our sister site, if you guys want to check that out. But it's been a really good month for baseball DFS. Betting has been up and down. I've still been dealing with this bad luck. Hopefully we can turn that around this week. I did hit a nice parlay on Saturday, if you guys saw, in that Mexico City game. I took 3 players on the Padres that hit a home run. They all hit a home run. And then Sunday came, and I was going to make a bunch of home run parlays. Luckily, I didn't because the game didn't score as many runs. But I made one in the morning and then went back to do it again. And FanDuel actually had wouldn't let you do it anymore because they were so scared of the game. Thank God. I put actually a bigger bet in today, more than 1 unit. Typically, all my bets are to win 1 unit. I actually put a 2.5 unit play in today, and it was Atlanta Braves money line in the first game, and I parlayed it with the Boston Celtics money line tonight. And the Braves were really, really sweaty here. They were only up 6-5, even with Strider pitching, but they just hit a home run, so it's 9-5 now. So I feel a little bit better about that. Shout out Sean Murphy's been a beast. Sean Murphy's top 5 in barrel rate, top 5 in barrels per plate appearance. I mean, he's been crushing the ball this year. He's 2 home runs today. So if you're looking for a player to buy low on, you can't really buy low on him now because he's hit two home runs today. But the data on Sean Murphy looks really good. All right, we'll dive in here. I have the live trends tool pulled up. If you guys have never seen this before, it's a free tool. You can access every single day at betkarma.com or in the BetKarma app. If you don't have the BetKarma app, you should all download that in the App Store right now. Celtics, big favorites here, 9.5 points over the Sixers. I don't think Embiid's going to play, but I also don't really want to lay 9.5. So I would use maybe Boston as a parlay piece with their money line, but I'm not going to be touching that game. I think you can maybe I would look maybe at a teaser tonight with the Nuggets and Sixers. So maybe like a 5-pointer, you can get that up to like 15. I think that might be worth it. But I don't want to lay 9.5 with Boston, even though I do think they win the game. I do think Denver will win this game tonight. They'll go up 2-0. Phoenix will win at least one at home. So we'll see if it's even coming back to Denver or if it's 3-1. But I do think Denver is going to win this game tonight at home. So that's my baseball picks. We'll pull up the predictor at the end of the stream and check out some props. But I'll go through the baseball slate real quick here. At NHL, I'll pull it up real quick. There's just that one game. I'm going to stick with the Rangers. I picked them to win that series. I think the Devils are better on paper, but I like how this Rangers team has been playing. They were up 2-0, and then they lost both games at home, and I was like, okay, maybe they fell apart. But they battled back really well in New Jersey and won that game. So I think I'm going to go with the Rangers tonight, but I won't be betting on the game. Props are tricky in case of a blowout. Yeah, that Boston game is super tough to deal with because you just don't know. It could go 2 ways. It could be a close game or Boston could win by 20. I do agree with that. You just really don't know with him beat out. So I do agree it's a little bit tougher to bet on that game. As far as the baseball slate goes, first game, Cubs, Nats, 7:05. Mackenzie Gore versus Drew Smyly. Drew Smiley's been pitching really well for the Cubs this season. Mackenzie Gore has looked really, really good for the Nationals. I think it's important to remember that it was just a year and a half ago that Mackenzie Gore was the number 1 pitching prospect in all of baseball. He was, comped to be potentially the next Clayton Kershaw. And he just never really got a fair shake in San Diego. He dealt with a lot of blister problems in the minors and injuries, and they just never – they were always acquiring pitchers, I feel like. Like they made the big trade for Snell, Musgrove, stuff like that. So he just never really got a fair shake and got a true crack at the rotation. He was one of the centerpieces of the Juan Soto trade, and he's looked really good for the Nats this year, striking out over 30% of batters faced. Slight concerns with his walks, but it's a really, really interesting thing here. Typically, lefties are really, really good against left-handed batters, but pretty much all of his walks have come against left-handed hitters this season, which I thought was interesting. He's only going to see one lefty in the lineup tonight, Cody Bellinger, which obviously is a strikeout threat as well. So I think that this could be a low-scoring game. I do like that under 8.5. You can see that sharp money coming in. 53% of the bets, but 90% of the money are on the under. So there's some big money coming in on the under. I do agree with that. I like how Smiley's thrown this year. The Nats lineup isn't super scary to me outside of a few players. So I would lean under here. But I think Gore is going to have a good night tonight as well. I wouldn't really be backing his side there, but under I do think has some value. Guardians, Yankees, Cal Quantrill, Domingo Germán. I don't really have any plays here. Quantrill's really struggled. He's one of those guys that struggled with the pitch clock, so I don't really want to back him. Domingo Germán he's been okay. He had one really, really good start where he apparently had stuff on his hands and they just never did anything about it. That was the big double-digit strikeout game from him. So I don't know what to make of him. I don't love targeting that game. I'll probably just pass there. Blue Jays, Red Sox, we have Jose Barrios, Corey Kluber. Some money coming in on the over here. It's up to 10 runs. Barrios he's really rebounded. Season like he did last year. He was throwing too many fastballs, and he just really wasn't looking good. But he's rebounded. He's changed up his pitch mix a little more. He's cut back on his fastball usage last few starts. He's coming off his best start of the season against the White Sox. The Red Sox are a tough matchup. They don't strike out a lot. They're a pretty good lineup top to bottom. So I don't really know if I want to take a side here, and I don't know if I want to bet the over 10. Maybe you could look at a first 5 over here or Blue Jays team total. I think has some value. You guys know we've been picking on Corey Kluber, all season. I just don't think he's very good anymore. He doesn't strike guys out, so balls are going to be put into play, and he gives up a lot of hard contact. Toronto has tons of power top to bottom in their lineup. So I think my favorite play from this game would be betting on the Blue Jays team total. Let me see what it's at right now. I'm assuming it's probably 5.5 if I had to guess based off that total, but let's see here. Yeah, 5.5. There's juice on the under, so you can get pretty good odds on taking the over. So I don't hate it. I think the Blue Jays will win the game, and I feel confident in their offense tonight against Corey Kluber. They have pretty good numbers against Corey Kluber as well, their main guys. So Toronto and a good offensive output, that's my lean for that game. Next game's Giants-Astros. Lean hard Astros here. I think this is a good spot for the Astros. They're not only at home, but the Giants have to deal with this. If you guys think of it like this, when teams go to Coors Field and they play in Coors Field for a series and then they travel out and immediately they don't have a day off or anything, they're playing in a different atmosphere, I think that affects that team sometimes. This is an even more extreme example of that coming from Mexico City, where it's even more 2,000 feet above what Coors Field is. And they're traveling from there to play in Houston. They don't get any day off. They're going right into it. So, and they have Ross Stripling on the mound, who has the highest expected ERA of any pitcher going today. It's over 8. So I think this is a really good spot for the Astros. First 5 full game, team total, whatever you want to do with the Astros. I love the Astros tonight. I think it's a really good spot for them. Who scores 10 runs tonight? I would put my money on the Astros, number 1. I would put my money on the Blue Jays, number 2. And if you want a wild card, honestly, I'm going to talk about it in the next game here. But I think that the Cincinnati Reds could score 10 runs tonight. But I think this is a really, really good spot for Houston. So that's kind of my big play from that game. All things Houston. I think Houston wins the game for sure. Next game I was just talking about. Reds, Padres, Blake Snell, Luke Weaver. I think the over 8.5 looks good here. So you can see it was at 9 and it came down. Luke Weaver is not a good pitcher. So I don't know if the Padres will really struggle, but Padres are in the same boat as San Fran. They're traveling from Mexico City, no day off. So that's kind of giving me some pause on the Padres side of it. On the Red side of it, I think it's a good matchup for them against Blake Snell. Blake Snell has really, really struggled with the pitch clock this year. He's walking over 16.5% of batters faced. He's been completely out of control in terms of his walks, and he still has decent strikeout stuff, right? 24% strikeout rate. That's pretty solid because his stuff is good. But if he's walking guys, it only takes one swing of the bat to really break the game open. And in 86 plate appearances this season against right-handed hitters, giving up a 400 WOBA, a 271 ISO, 50% hard hit rate. I mean, he's been getting really, really smacked by right-handed hitters. And the Cincinnati Reds are going to throw in all right-handed hitters tonight. It's going to be an all right-handed lineup for the Reds tonight. It's not a good matchup for Snell. If he's walking guys, like this could get out of control, even though the Reds offense isn't good, but they're going to have the platoon advantage over him. And they do have some pop, a few guys. It's not the whole lineup, but there is 2 or 3, 4 guys that have some pop. So if he's walking guys and one of those guys comes up and hits one ball out, I mean, it can really break the game open. So you can get the Reds team total at 3 runs on FanDuel. I like the over there. It's 3.5 everywhere else. It was 3 on FanDuel when I put it in, so you get that push potential. So I really, really like that. You could bet them first 5 money line if you want to get crazy, but I think it's a good spot for the Reds offense tonight, and I think they're going to score some runs on Blake Snell personally. GPP Reds, yeah, for DFS, I think the Reds are a great spot, especially when you factor in, Mitchell, that Blake Snell is going to be 50% owned as like a pitcher. Like people are going to use Blake Snell, so yeah, I think the Reds are a really good spot tonight. Closing out, Phillies, Dodgers. Good spot for the Dodgers here, I think. I bet their money line. Phillies were on Sunday Night Baseball last night. So I always think there's some merit to fading the Sunday Night Baseball teams the next day. I think Taijuan Walker matches up pretty poorly against the Dodgers lineup. So if I was putting anything in for this game, definitely lean Dodgers. But overall for today's baseball slate, my 2 favorite plays, I love this spot for the Astros, and I like the spot for the Reds. Reds team total over 3 looks really, really good to me. So those are my baseball plays for today. To finish out here, we'll pull up the predictor. This will be a quicker stream today just because there's not a ton to talk about. But is there any props that you guys like tonight? Someone earlier said something about Tatum. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to bet him at 28.5 points because we've talked about, we just don't know. Like, if the game gets out of control, he might not get that last shift in the 4th quarter. So that's a little bit, I don't know. I think you can always take a stab at Jokic for a double. Let me see what the odds are. They're probably like plus 120 or something stupid. Plus 220 for a triple-double for Jokic. I don't hate a stab on that. Not heavy unit play, but I think you could do minus 150, Jokic double-double plus Denver to win the game. I don't hate that. You get a little bit better odds than that minus 176 for the full game. I like Harden points. I don't mind. This is the line. Let's see here. 23.5. So I think if I was going to bet Harden tonight, he's 23.5. It's minus 105. I would probably just rather bet him 25 plus at plus 120. If I was going to do that, that's one extra basket and you get obviously better odds. So, I mean, he's going to have to do something though. But the Knicks are 7 favorites. that next game. That's pretty crazy. Warriors -5. Love the baseball picks. All right, well, I'm glad you're on the same page. I do, dude. I don't know. I just haven't loved what I've seen from Snell this year. I'm not very confident in him at this point in time. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you have any further questions, hit the Discord, betkarmachat.com, download the BetKarma app, click the chat room link, hop in, sign up at betkarma.com/pricing, and then you'll get the premium Discord access as well. If Butler's out for the series, can the Heat win another game? Yeah, I think they could win another. Oh, man, I don't know, actually. I don't know. I might lean no, actually. Because they don't really have, like I don't think they've missed Harrow too much because Butler's been doing his thing. But if you take them both out, like Harrow's someone that could come in and really take over offensively for them. So, yeah, I don't know if they could. But I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place. We'll be talking about recap of today, best bets for tomorrow, big baseball slate tomorrow, so we have a little bit more to talk about. But good luck with your bets tonight, guys, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.